Mika Nala Krista! Blah! Hi, this is DLWeekly. Family. Good. You listen? Okay, don't forget Ohana.
Well, hello, Weekly Tears. We are coming to you from downtown Disney. Ryan and I are sitting here outside of the World of Disney in front of what once was a fountain and maybe will be a fountain again sometime in the future, but right now it's a nice shady spot.
It's really nice to get out of the sun. I forgot how hot it was here in the summer until I step off the airplane.
Yeah, and today I think is the hottest day of the trip. I think it's like 90 today, so it's a toasty one.
30 degrees for any Canadians or anybody else
that doesn't
listening.
Go by the Fahrenheit. Yeah, that goes by Celsius. Yeah. So anyways, I got in yesterday. Ryan just got in today. And so I've already been able to spend some time in Disneyland. And Ryan's just getting into the magic.
Yeah, it's always hard. I was just posting on the Discord when those days that you come in before your actual park days and you're walking across the Esplanade and you're looking at Disneyland, you're like, it's right there.
You're feeling the pull.
I'm like, I just want to go there.
The draw. You know what was really weird? So when we came in last night, they still had the big 70th anniversary, I don't know what you want to call it, display in front of the train station. And then when we went in this morning, gone. It magicked itself away. So
there will be something that comes up. I don't know, will they put something there for D23 Day, or is that just going to be in by the Main Street flagpole?
In the past, it's only been at the Main Street flagpole. So, but that's in the past. So maybe this year there'll be something there. I was actually noticing, now that you're talking about D23 Day, there's going to be all sorts of different, I'm going to have to make a schedule. There's different things happening for like Disney Plus and Hulu, like different activation type things happening in the parks in downtown Disney. And you could even go to some of the Good Neighbor hotels to get like, I don't remember if they're patches or buttons or whatever.
Oh.
There's going to be a truck parked in downtown Disney this weekend that's giving out donuts.
Ooh.
It was like 10 to 4, like starting on the 13th and through the weekend. From 10 to 4, it's going to be down by the monorail station here. And I'm like, what? I don't know. I'm so curious about it. There's going to be all sorts of fun things to do in the park and then outside of the park. And I think it's cool that they've got it going throughout the weekend. So even if you aren't attending Expo, you can still
check in at downtown Disney and have a little bit of the fun as well.
So it's kind of weird. It's like the calm before the storm. We noticed this at the hotel this morning because there was like nobody up doing the breakfast because we're staying at the Desert Palm Suites this time because it's basically in between Disneyland and in between the convention center. And we have breakfast on the 5th floor. We sat outside, which was glorious. But like there was nobody up there. And I was telling my mom and my aunt who came with, I'm like, oh, it won't be like this later in the week. And same thing though with the parks. The parks have been pleasantly chill.
Quiet today?
As far as like crowds and stuff like that. Like I walked through most of the park, all the like typical pinch points. None of the pinch points were feeling it.
So everybody's just waiting for Thursday probably.
Something, but I think like Southern California, like schools are back in session.
Right, yeah.
People maybe aren't here quite yet for D23, so maybe we got here before the rush did, because I wonder how many people maybe are coming in tomorrow to make sure that they're here for Thursday. So yeah, so it's nice.
But you came in, you were telling me earlier, slightly after rope drop, so you didn't get stuck in
that chaos.
The pin trader, because it's Tuesday when we're recording.
Oh.
So there would have been a pin drop this morning.
You know what? That makes sense now, because there was a line on Main Street and I couldn't figure out what they were lining up for.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, so I wonder if they had gone to those paper tickets that we were talking about last week.
Dang, I totally forgot about that. I should have looked. I got distracted because, side note, we were talking about this prior, since we're sitting in front of the World of Disney, we were talking about merchandise, shocker. They have in there, I want one, but I am too afraid to buy it and get it home in one piece. It is this most beautiful, like, whiskey glass, like one of those short glasses, that has the casting agency, like the door on the front, and then on the back it has like the Walt Disney quote on it, and it's rimmed with gold. It's gorgeous. It is the casting door or Main Street window, whatever you want to call it, in a glass form.
Oh.
It's beautiful. So I was trying to point that out to my mom and my aunt yesterday, or this morning, because I was going on about the glass last night, and they didn't know that the casting was there. So we had to talk about that. It was a teachable moment. And they had like little scrim things. I'm like, oh, what are they doing? And that's where the line also was.
Right.
But I got distracted because I realized, oh, they're just touching up paint, and then forgot about the line. Totally forgot about the pin drop thing. Oh well.
So the whiskey glass will be good for Kevin. So Kevin, if you're listening before I get
gorgeous.
home, skip ahead a couple of seconds because that might be your surprise present.
It's gorgeous, and I'm wondering if they're going to do like, if they're going to stop, if it's just going to be a one and done, or if they're going to like work their way through and do
other
others.
Windows, and yeah, that would be cool.
I don't know. It's cool, and it's not that. It's $20 for the glass, which for a single glass is not, great, but also it's beautiful with all of the stuff and detailing on it, so it's not bad.
Scotch and whiskey glasses at home that we paid more than $20 for.
I was gonna say,
it's not bad at all.
Like a tiki mug, that's $20 is nothing for a tiki mug. So if you think about it like that, then it's not bad. But anyways, it's been a really great start to the trip, and I'm very curious and I'm very excited. It's kind of almost like 2 trips in one because it's the parks, and then the D23 stuff. And they just keep releasing more and more information about D23 events happening throughout the weekend, more and more merch releases happening throughout the weekend.
It's hard to keep up with everything it's a lot. When they're releasing these in little spurts.
Yeah,
all of a sudden you get something, and then I'm like, did we know this already?
Yeah,
have I missed this?
Yeah. Well, like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, announced that the big Parks and Experiences panel, I call it the Parks panel still, it's called like the Experiences panel now. But the major one that's happening on Saturday, that's where they talk about what's going to happen in theme parks, what's going to happen on like cruise lines, all the kind of more like tangible type things, not just the media and like the films kind of stuff. That's like my top panel. They're streaming that this year.
Yeah, D23.
However, Ryan and I were talking, being people that got Honda Center things, I was a little like bummed that they're streaming it live, because I was like, oh well, dang it.
It sounds like they're streaming it live, but they've made no promise about it being available after. So it might be a one and done kind of thing.
I hope that it's available after. As someone who will be sitting at the Honda Center, I think it would be fun to watch it again later.
Yeah.
Because being in the room and experience it is one thing, but then re-watching it over again, maybe there's other things that, or like, maybe it's something like, well, wait, what were the things that they were talking about for this project or whatever? Then you can go back and see instead of having to take pictures during the event.
If you haven't been before, like the last one was my first one, I didn't realize how much information they pack into those panels.
It's a lot.
And it's so, like, all of a sudden it's just flies by, and you're like, what did we talk about today? What did we hear about today?
Well, and sometimes it's hard because even with like when they have different maybe concept art or whatever, different images that they're putting up on the giant screens, they also don't have that up there for very long sometimes, that it's not quite a blink and you'll miss it, but just a hair longer than that. So it's easy if you just happen to be not fully paying attention for whatever reason. And if you're not fully paying attention, why are you at the Honda Center? Yeah. But it is kind of easy to be like, oh wait, what would, like, wanting to see more details or whatever on things. So I'm very curious. I hope that they're going to have it for a little while. Yeah.
And I think we've got people that don't know, we've talked before. We had sort of planned to go on this before I had decided, or you had decided to invite me to become.
Before it was anybody new except for Tag and I. Yeah. That Tag was not going to be continuing with the podcast. Yeah.
But Teresa's the one that we were both trying to get tickets at the same time, and Teresa's the one that got in the virtual queue or whatever you call it first, and I think she got us some really good seats. So I think we'll be able to see nicely.
We're sitting in, what is it, level 200?
Yeah, 202 or 201, something like that.
I don't remember. So not on the floor, not in the nosebleeders. We're in a happy medium.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good happy medium, because I was on the floor last year. I spent more on the tickets than I should have. And even from because I was halfway back, I think that I used the big screens a lot still, even though I was on the floor. So, the other aspect of being up a little bit, I think, might be nice too.
Well, and you don't want to be too close either, because the screens are gargantuan. So you're not going to be able to see the screen. So yeah, I think I'm hoping this is a good happy medium, whatever you want to call it, place. Speaking of the convention and the expo weekend, we've been talking about trying to strategize, because if you're going to one of these things, you gotta go in with a loose plan. You can't have a rigid plan, kind of like a park day. You have to have a loose idea of a plan, but also know to be flexible. And so we've kind of been talking through stuff. And this is going to be an interesting expo for me, because somehow there's just a ton of talent that I'm very, very interested in this year. So I think we're going to be spending more time checking out Talent Central than I have before, which by what I've done before, I've never actually gone to Talent Center.
I didn't go over there at all.
It doesn't take much to make it a lot more. But there's at least, one, maybe two things a day that we've been looking at. There's one that I'm really excited about, which, P.S., spoiler alert, we did not get any of the advanced reservations for any of these Talent Central things, so we'll be standby. Try and stand by lining it. So hopefully they have standby open. Some of the ones that I'm really excited about is that Pete Docter is doing a signing and a meet and greet. And A, I'm very excited to meet Pete Docter, but B, he's signing a 40th anniversary Pixar lithograph.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And that is what I'm most excited about, is having, being able to meet him, being that it's the 40th anniversary of Pixar, which that's wild, by the way.
Yeah, it does not seem like it can be that
And
long.
then having the signature be on a 40th anniversary lithograph.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That's super. It feels like a nice little time capsule thing. Who are some of the people that you're excited about for Talent Central?
I think Eric Goldberg is going to be inducted as a legend this year. If you look at his he's just done so much.
Insane amounts,
and if you look at interviews and listen to him talk, he's just genuinely so happy about what he does and so excited about everything. So I think it couldn't be a better person that was being inducted as a Disney legend. And I think that would be a great person to try and get to.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go through the schedule again, though, because I don't remember what day he's at the... I
think the first day. I think he's there on Friday. Yep.
And Pete Docter's there on Friday as well, isn't he?
Hang on. Let me pull up my handy dandy little. So, if you ever do the D23 Expo, and if you're going this weekend, you still have time, because this will drop on Wednesday with the expo starting on Friday. Download the D23 app, because they have an area where there's a schedule, and you can favorite things within the schedule.
And then it'll give you a little reminder.
And it'll send you a reminder to let you know. Okay, 10:30 on Friday. Disney legend Eric Goldberg.
Okay. I can't remember what else we've looked at that time, so...
There's the director.
Oh, right.
For the Coco director is right after that, too, so I put that on there. So I'm like, well, we're probably going to still be in that area, so may as well just, I'm also super curious, I think we talked about this before, these creator sessions. And I'm curious if this is something if it was only if you had the reservation for, or if there's going to be a standby for this. But these creator sessions are happening at the Disney Store. And the description here is a VIP experience. Join Disney artists for a limited meet and greet at the Disney Store experience, featuring special sketch and signing opportunities. A rotating cast of artists are appearing daily for reserved opportunities. So we'll have to maybe see if we can get the little reservation thing.
Yeah, check that out as well. If you haven't been before, there's just so much, as I think Teresa's saying, that you've got to have at least a loose idea of what you want to do, but not to be too rigid, because stuff fills up. The standby lines, I think, can get pretty long.
I think they can get pretty long, and they can also get pretty intimidating, because you look at the line and you're like, oh, there's no way.
Yeah.
But they're really good about getting people in, getting people through. So last expo 2 years ago was the first time that they did this new version of the random selection process of getting these reservations. And so I think what Tag and I had maybe at best 4, but probably 3 for the entire weekend. That's not per day, that's the entire weekend. And so I had a lot of other ones penciled in that we really wanted to do. And so we did a lot of things standby. And either everybody was freaked out and didn't think they could do standby if they didn't have a reservation, or everybody was more not interested in the panels we were interested in. But we had no problem with the standby lines. In fact, ones that I thought for sure we weren't going to be able to get into, they had a special one for Disney Lorcana, which also was a giveaway, which then became a collectible, probably worth way
Right.
too much money on the internet item. I figured there's no way, because there's going to be all sorts of collectors or maybe even resellers, whatevers, that would be going to that panel just to get the item, not actually interested in the panel. And we were able to get in that no problem. So you just never know.
And I thought, because you and Tag and I went to the Sherman experience
Yes.
2 years ago, and
And
I
that
thought,
was a standby that we
yeah,
did
and
too.
I thought for sure that was going to fill up, but even with us in standby looking around, there were some empty seats in there.
Yeah.
So I think that premiere stage that's the premiere stage, isn't it?
They're massive. So
They're-
these stages
yeah.
are huge. And to me, it appears that there seems to be, and maybe this is just my memory not being what it used to be, but it seems like this year there's fewer stages. So to me, that means fewer stages equals larger capacity per
yeah.
stage. Because way back when we first went, like the archive stage was a more intimate setting than what it was last year, which I think is great, that they're able to get more things, get more people in to experience these different special panels and presentations. So,
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the premiere stage, that's in the arena attached to the convention center. Is that where in the older expos, where the parks panel and everything was in that space?
so last year, yes. This year, no. So this year, where like Talent Central is actually back, the left side of the building is where the big giant panels used to be. So now that's where there's like shopping and stuff over
Right.
there. That's where the Walt Disney Archives exhibit is. It was there that same side last year, and Talent Central is way tucked back in that corner. And I just looked, there is one stage actually on the main floor, and it's the spotlight stage, which that's kind of an open, like, you're not sitting to watch a presentation. It's kind of more of a, I don't know, like you kind of come upon fun, cool things happening there.
Yeah, there was some musical theater. I went and participated where you got to get choreography from a Disney artist from Broadway.
That's
It's pretty
fun.
cool. And I think Nina, one of the drag queens, was there.
Oh yes, Nina West.
But that was right before one of the big set panels at the Honda Center, so we missed that.
Missed it, yeah. So it looks like the second floor, the premiere stage this year has moved. Remember where they had that kind of like big shopping
area.
that was
Right.
kind of like way off on its own? That's where the premiere stage is. In years past, they've used that as a stage area before, and
Right.
it's a nice big space, so that'll be great. The only tough part is if you have something that you want to go to, it is a hike
Yeah,
to
to the
get
other-
down to that
Yeah,
end.
because I remember trying to find, on the last day of the expo last time, I was trying to get to the shopping thing.
You're like, where
and
is
I
this?
walked over there and I'm like, there's a whole section of this whole thing that I had no idea was here.
Yep. That's the wildness that is the expo center. It just keeps go. As soon as you think, surely I have seen all of the things. Oh no,
There's something
there's
else.
something else somewhere. But then on the second floor, looking here, we've got the Hyperion stage, the backlot stage, and the Disney Experiences auction, where they're going to have the items kind of
right.
up and on display. So that's
I'm really excited to see that.
all that sort of stuff. And then what's on our third floor? The archive stage is the third floor.
Right.
Very cool. So I don't know. I maybe if I have like, they used to have actual printed things for the expo with like the floor map and stuff. Maybe I can go back in time, or go back in my stuff and see if I have any of that.
Compare it to.
I feel like there were. Maybe I'm making it up that there were more stages, or maybe they were just spread out a little bit more, and that's why I felt like there were more stages and presentations before. Or
Yeah.
stages for
Yeah,
presentations
yeah.
before, but who knows. I do really enjoy that they shifted things to the Honda Center, because if you did any of the big panels, that was half of your day before. And also just the ease of not having to think, can I get in? Can I not get in? You just know for sure, I have my seat at the Honda Center. I know that I can get there. Or you can go into the expo weekend knowing I don't have it
that
this
space.
year, and I don't need to do it.
And I think that because the last time was my first time, because of the date switch, because it used to be later, a little bit later in the year, and as a teacher, getting down here at that time was not great. So moving into August was great for me. Having the Honda Center was great for me because I love Disney. I will line up for some stuff. But talking to some weekly tiers that have done this in the past, like we had one weekly tier talking on the Discord talking about how he got off the airplane and basically just got off the airplane and went to line up on the floor of the convention center for 9 hours or something like that.
Something crazy.
And I'm like, I love Disney, but I don't know as if I could stand on a concrete pad for 9 hours in the hopes that I got into one of these panels.
You never got to see it's the basement that you would do this in, and it was kind of, I don't know, it was a basement, so just use your imagination. Terrible lighting, all concrete, so yeah. There wasn't even interesting things to see. There's nothing. There's nothing. There were restrooms. There was a little cart that had different like a coffee stand thing and maybe some snacky things. Then really you just got to sit in the magical tape and make new friends. That's how you entertained yourself.
Turn.
Yeah, and just wait. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking going into this year, I'm almost wondering if next Expo, I mean, we'll see when we get there because who knows, I'll probably decide the same thing. I'm almost wondering if maybe next time I might not do the Honda Center.
Yeah.
I think because they're streaming, well, if they continue streaming, the panel that I'm most interested in, I don't feel as much of a need to be there. And also, I have the unfortunate luck this year that all of the panels I was the most interested in are happening during the Honda Center events.
Or ending 10 minutes right before it went. And you have to, if you haven't been between the two spaces before, it's a bit of a distance.
It is, yeah.
Especially if you're taking the buses that D23 provides. It's a bit of a trek to get over there. So you have to leave yourself enough time to get there.
I'm really looking forward to, I think, in general, for not the Honda Center. We're going to pretend like that's its own separate thing, right? But I think for the expo itself, I'm really, I think, looking forward to the floor the most this year. The past couple of times we've done the floor, but we kind of rushed through the floor. So I'm excited to try and take a little bit more time to do things on the floor. Because the floor is a magical place. There's all the different things to do and see that are, the different booths and interactive spaces and whatnots, which I feel like it seems like there's more this year than there has been in the past. But the other really magical thing about the floor is you just never know who you're going to see when you're out on the floor. So I'm really looking forward to spending a little bit more time on the floor, as well as spending a little bit more time and doing some of the Talent Central things too. Ron Clements, that's the other person that's on our list that we think would be super duper cool to be able to meet and have signed something.
So let me ask you this: if for the parks panel, is there something that they could announce that would just blow
that I would just deceased right
there? Is there something that
Tomorrowland? If they finally announced a Tomorrowland thing, I think that would be done.
Yeah,
because we've been asking and asking and asking, and it's not happening. So if they finally pull it out of their back pocket, I think everybody's just gonna
lose their mind
and just be like, ah! I mean, and really at this point they could announce nothing. They could just be like, we're going to finish the entrance finally. And everybody would just go crazy.
Get rid of the temporary permanent walls that have been, I think they were refurbished because they've been there so long. The temporary walls.
They need a new paint job because they have been sitting out in the California sun for too long. More realistically, though, I'm really hoping for a new Murphy announcement.
Yeah, that
really,
would be
really
mine too. I think this would be the perfect time. You've got the great audience to announce it to. It's been years now since the tragic burning of Murphy, and I think they've had enough time to look into this and plus it or rebuild it or do it in some other way. So I think it would be great if we could actually get a new Murphy.
That's not a big ask for them to be able to tell us to have some sort of update on that. Some of the things I'm fully expecting is I think we'll be getting more details, including timelines on things like the Avengers rides and the Coco attraction. And as much as I don't want to hear about it, the Avatar land, which we should talk about that for a second. Everybody, including me and probably you, thought that, perhaps we haven't heard about this for a while. Perhaps they have reconsidered because it doesn't seem like anybody is that interested.
Especially with the way that the third Avatar movie did not do super well at the box office this year.
That didn't do well. Disney had sent and included sent park surveys, asked people what they thought about Avatar, if they were excited about it or not excited about it. So it seemed like they were really like trying to rethink things, we'll say. But then on the most recent, I think it was the earnings call, it got brought up again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was an infographic that they had presented.
Yeah,
at the
so it's not
call.
It's not completely gone. Maybe we're not going to have it in the front of DCA, and we can put it in a back expansion pad somewhere.
Yeah.
I'd be much more okay with that.
I just think that I enjoyed the first Avatar movie for what it was.
Sure.
The second one, it was fine. The third one I have not seen yet, so I'm part of the moviegoer. Like, I'm a regular moviegoer that's not seen this film, but I had no connection to it whatsoever. But the one and only time I've been to Walt Disney World, I was blown away by the Pandora Land. So if they can create something that is as rich and moving of an environment as they've done in Walt Disney World, I might be okay with it. But I'm like you. I'm not sure that where the rumor, because we haven't had anything concrete, where the Hollywood backlot is the best place for it. So if they could find somewhere that you could create that immersive, closed-in environment, because in Walt Disney World, it's sort of closed in, but it's still open, and it creates this really great environment. I think they would have a harder time doing that in that Hollywood backlot stage with the monorail going through and everything like that.
Well, and the other part too is it's an animal kingdom, and it's so it's just an extension of the like overarching nature theme of that park. So it makes total sense there, even though it's a fantasy land. It still makes sense because it's still like the environment's all about the world around you sort of thing, which is what the rest of the park is kind of trying to embody too at Animal Kingdom. So we will see, because that's another thing too. That's a good point. I don't know if Disney's actually officially said anything about where it'd be located. Everyone's just assumed.
Yeah, where it's going to go. And from kind of what they've said, it would make the most sense, because that, especially with the Gateway project, that's going to be restructuring that whole end of the Esplanade and stuff. They can take some space back out of the bus loop, but other rumors have included like Zootopia Land.
Yeah. I would like a Muppets area. I know that maybe that isn't a rumor, but if it's not yet, I want to start that. Let's have a Muppets themed area in DCA.
That reminds me, that would be one of my top things for the entertainment panel. Would be a confirmation of an actual revival of the Muppets series, because we got that great one-off special. I thought was fantastic. Seemed like they were just kind of dipping their toe in the water to see, is this something that people are going to respond well to? And I think people have. So I think that would be a great addition to their lineup at the entertainment panel.
I feel like the Muppets had maybe like fallen off everyone's radar for a little while, but they're fully back on people's radars, and they need to do something with that, more than just the Muppets rock and roller coaster that they've done in Florida. Let's bring some, because no, I can't think of any Muppets things.
No, I don't think so.
We don't even have like a Muppets themed like shop or something.
Nothing over here, no.
So we need some Muppet representation here in Disneyland. And while we're on it, we're talking entertainment, Hyperion Theater. Let's hope. Let's have our fingers, toes, everything crossed that we get some sort of announcement of some fabulous entertainment making its way back to the Hyperion Theater.
At this point, I will take whatever show
Frozen can come back.
They decide to put back in there. Just something, because that's such a missed opportunity. Great people eater, gets people into the theater, gives people a chance to sit down. These park days can be very long, and while you're getting a chance to sit down, you get a Broadway caliber performance. And I'd ideally love to see Aladdin come back, but I'd be okay with Frozen. I'd be okay with Lion King, something. Just give us a show, a regular show, not something like Rogers. I never got to see Rogers.
Well, yeah, it was like 2 months maybe.
But it was a limited run.
Yeah, 2 to 3 months.
Give us something with some staying power that can be in that theater for a long period of time.
I like it. Speaking of the Hyperion Theater, we were talking about this because one of the things happening on D23 Day at the park is there's going to be a princess concert.
Right.
in DCA that evening. There's going to be, of course, a virtual queue because there's only so much space in the area, and everybody's going to want to be able to see the performers that gave voice to some of the very famous Disney princesses put on this special concert. And I was kind of surprised. I get aesthetically why you would want it here, but it's going to be happening in front of the Little Mermaid. So you know where you watch the World of Color from, like that viewing area?
Yeah.
They're setting a stage up there, so the backdrop is going to be Pixar Pier and then the pal around, which is, I understand aesthetically why you would want to do that because that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Logistically, I feel like that's going to be very complicated for them. And so I was kind of wondering why they aren't using the Hyperion for that. That would have been the perfect space to have the Disney Princess concert.
It could have people have seats, like a massive capacity in there compared to, well, I shouldn't say. I don't know how many people they can cram into this space in front of the Little Mermaid, but the virtual kit. Then there's two concerts.
Yep, there's two concerts.
The same concert. So we're not sure yet if you can choose the virtual queue if you're lucky enough to get one, or if you just get what you get and you're happy to get one of the two virtual queues. So it'll be interesting to see. That's Thursday on D23 day. So we're going to have to set a reminder in our phones.
Yes, we are.
To be wherever we are, stop
to remember
and get on our phones and try and grab those virtual queues.
Another thing too is just, again, with the logistics side of it, is there's no real backstage, and you've got Disney royalty in us. Well, you know, both like metaphorically and also physically, because these like I'm sure Jodie Benson's going to be there, and I guess I don't know who else.
Hera probably.
Oh yeah, Paige O'Hara's probably going to be there. So, and these are the voices of the princesses have been a little bit more public, I guess would be a good way of saying it, of who the voice behind the characters are. So people recognize them, and especially when you're going to have this coinciding with an event like D23 where you have all the biggest Disney
super fans
are here, then they definitely are going to know and recognize these people. So I'm just curious how they're getting these people to
like
and from the stage.
A backstage area.
Yeah, because there's no backstage.
No, they'd have to have security detail like breaking through the crowd, and
we're gonna have to part the seas of Disney fans
and let them on and off their performance area.
And then even like where do you go backstage from there?
Yeah.
You know, like it's so I'm curious. Even if we don't get the virtual queue and can't actually attend the concert, I wonder if we can just continuously ride like Little Mermaid or something, so we can just keep
keep peeking.
Yeah, peeking every time that we're in the queue to
We're on the queue. We don't want to actually move in the queue. We just want to stand in the queue.
Of us. You can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Next.
But I'm just really curious, like how that's all going to work out.
Yeah,
we'll see.
And this is the first time they've done anything like this with any sort of foreknowledge of it.
That's true.
They've had a couple of evening performances where you kind of had to have a special invite for those overnight, for like the holiday special filmings, but they've not, in my memory anyway, done something like this smack in the middle of a day or in the evening, I guess.
They've done some of the holiday performances smack in the middle of the day, but again, it's kind of areas that they can kind of control a little bit better. So it's like back by Small World where there's an entrance and an exit to like on stage, off stage right there.
Yeah.
And then same thing like with the castle, there's not really a quick good entrance, but they can kind of block that area off a little bit better and not completely mess with the flow of things. So
because it'll be interesting to see what they do with the flow of people that aren't at the concert there too, because if you've got that whole area blocked off, are people going to have to take the long way and go all the way back around by the Silly Symphony swings and around past Toy Story Midway Mania on the pier to get back to the other side, or is there going to be a throughway? You know, like during Fantasmic, there's a throughway, but there's the cast member always like, don't stop,
go.
Please don't stop, keep moving. So, which I think will be even more challenging at this than it would be at something like Fantasmic.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. Very true. Something I want to say or talk about real quick that really has nothing to do with D23, which I know that was the road we were on. I just remembered, we talked about this when we were just up at Ballast Point, getting some beverages before coming down here to record. I just rode Pirates recently for the first time since the new animatronic. I don't want to talk about him. I feel like the internet has talked about him plenty, so I don't need to add to that. But my new official, now that I've seen him in person, I still don't get it. That's like my reaction to it. He's not like, oh God, but also he still sticks out, and so I'm just questioning it. But what the internet is not talking about, or at least I have not seen it on the internet, is holy cow, does the rest of that attraction look phenomenal right now. I'm trying to think of all the things that I noticed. So as we went, the caves and all that are pretty much the same. You can tell that it's been like refreshed,
right?
But nothing major sticking out there apart from the new pirate on the pile of treasure and the effect of I think it's a pirate flag that's supposed to be waving behind the waterfall was not working.
Okay.
So I can't comment on that. But past that, okay, so we've gotten to where the pirates are alive again. The fog is working again in the first room that has Captain Barbossa's ship. That I feel like has been quite a while that has been working. They have some new lighting effects to make like little flame things, like torches almost, appear there. I don't remember those before, so either they've updated them so they actually catch your eye or they're new. The other thing I noticed is the sounds from the castle or whatever fort that Barbossa is firing at. The soldiers that are up there, the lighting is better, they're moving better, and you can hear them. Like you can actually hear what their dialogue is. And I was telling Ryan, I said, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've actually seen them, so I don't know if they actually were refreshed, if the lighting's just better so I can see them, or if they did get some updates, but I did not recognize the facial features on those guys. Moving next to the scene with Carlos, poor Carlos, being dunked in that well. The lighting is better. All of the water effects, though, are working spectacularly with Carlos. There are water effects working that I don't remember ever working. I'll have to point it out when we go. There's almost these little fountains that kind of crisscross at the rim of the well.
Right.
That I don't remember those ever working.
Okay.
I remember him like spitting water out, and if you looked at the sides of the well, there's little like
a dribbly
things. Yeah. Those are working. I don't remember these shooting.
No, I don't think I can remember that either.
Things. It's almost like little fountains, and I think it's supposed to be like splashes when he gets dunked type thing. That's all working beautifully. The first Captain Jack Sparrow looks like he's back to his way of, you almost think it's Johnny Depp. That's how good that one looks. The rest of them we're not going to talk about because they didn't do anything with them, so we'll forget those guys. When you get to the burning town scene, they have plussed that up. I don't know if they got new lighting or what, but it looks way more on fire than it had in previous things. Before we get to that, I forgot about the donkey that's with the 3 singing band. The donkey is living his best donkey life now. He is very animated and all sorts of fun. And then at the end, the pirates that are in the jail cell, they've turned them up a bit, and they're moving way more fluidly. So you can actually hear more of the conversation of what they're saying to the dog.
Yeah.
And you can hear the 3 that are not in the main cell, but the cell before them. You can hear their conversation before, which I don't remember being able to really pick up everything that they were saying. And then the final room with like the drunk pirates shooting at each other, more of the effects are working in working in that room too. So I was very impressed with all of the plussing and refreshing and, fixing that happened in the second half of the attraction.
Well, one of the things I wondered while we were chatting before we started recording is if they're switching over to the new LED lights, because I know a lot of the attractions, when they go down for a longer refurb, are going to that technology, which not only is a better use of electricity, they're cheaper to run, but you can also control the temperature and the power of the LED kind of theater lights a lot better than you could with the traditional incandescent bulbs, where you used to have to use gels to put into the inserts and change the color or the temperature, whereas the LEDs, a lot of them have that built right in to do stuff, so they can probably do more with that technology than what they were working with before. So I wonder if that's a big part of it.
I'm sure it helped at the very least. I feel like there was another time that it went down for refreshment, and we felt the refurbishment, and Tang and I felt that the lighting had like that. Oh, they must have, like that they switched. So maybe they just added more this time.
That's true. Because I think isn't that one of the things that they're working on in the dino scene and the Grand Canyon in the Grand Circle tour is that I think they're improving the lighting in there.
That could be. Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah,
so we just did a Grand Circle tour and did that. It is very disappointing because they do not, the like narration on the train still like hypes it up like you're going to go into it, and then you go through and it's all these like cardboard cutouts of animals and dinosaurs. And I felt so bad. There was a family riding behind us that had a little girl, and she was terrified.
Oh no.
And the mom was like, you know, the dad said like he'd never seen it, so he needed the little girl to be brave so that he could be brave, sort of thing. It was very cute. And then like they're hyping it up, and they were ready to go in there. We get in there and it's
not there.
And the mom's like, they've closed it. Like, was so sad. And I was doing my best not to turn around and be like, it's temporary, it's coming back, because they were fully thinking, this was the coolest thing. Why is this what they replaced it with, type of thing?
It's been closed for
a while.
A good chunk of time, too.
It's been a while.
So they must be doing something fairly substantial.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Well, and the weird thing, too, is with doing the travel planning stuff with Concierge, I pay attention way more than I had even before with doing DLWeekly on the refurbishment schedule. This is not something that you can find on the refurbishment schedule. So it's just kind of a word of mouth if the dioramas are open or not open, because you just kind of
go on the Disneyland
today.
Railroad.
Yeah, and the railroad is not closed, so it's sneaky. So I'm really curious to see what happens when it reopens and what magic they've been working on behind those scrims and cutouts.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to? Because this will be our first trip to the parks together. Mm-hmm. You and I went on a couple of attractions 2 years ago, went during the 2024 D23, but this is our first time going together. So what do you think what should we check out together? I now that you've been on Pirates, I definitely need to see Pirates.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Unfortunately, Teresa and I are both in the same boat. Our favorite attraction, Haunted Mansion, has closed just as of a couple days ago to start rolling over to the Haunted Mansion Holiday. And it is once again closed on its anniversary, which was just 2 days ago.
At the very least, I don't know why, they keep doing this. It's closed on its anniversary, and it's sad.
Yeah.
But, well, Pirates, I'm very curious to see if you notice the same things that I was noticing on Pirates.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I don't know. I think it's been interesting because I've been with my aunt and my mom today, and I've never gone with just them. So just experiencing the park with not new people, but just different, it's just different because I'm used to being here with either Tag or with Vern. And so I kind of know what they are interested in, what they kind of gravitate towards. It has been interesting just at this point with those two because I am the main decision maker. I'm not usually the main decision maker. I'm usually a contributor. So that's been different. So I'm curious just to see how it is that you like to go and experience the parks and what are the things that you look forward to and do.
It's weird because like I normally only go with Kevin. My mom will come with us, and she'll usually tell us. I was telling Teresa this earlier. She'll tell us a couple things that she wants to do, and then she's quite happy. She said she just loves to be directed around different places. So it'll be interesting because we're both such super fans and have the way of attacking the parks that we want to. It'll be interesting to see. So
I've actually gotten really relaxed, almost probably too relaxed, because I get to come so often. I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. I think I would be like 100% content if I didn't actually get on any attractions.
Yeah.
Like I'm at that level that I just love being in the space. Obviously it's better when you go on attractions because those are fun and exciting because you get to see stuff like what they've been working on and what different things are going on. Like this morning we rode Indiana Jones was the first thing that we rode, and we're going along on it. I'm like, man, the last few times I've been on it, they were, I think, pumping through cars faster, and so everything was sped up just a little bit. This is the first time I haven't had that experience, and so it was kind of the more like leisurely pace, if you want to call it that, for Indiana Jones this morning. So like just kind of being so familiar with things and then having slightly different experiences I always find really interesting. So I never want to just not do any of this. So it's never going to be that where I just come and sit, unless maybe if I was local. But I'm always going to be very curious about the attractions and what's, just to enjoy them, but then also what's kind of ever changing about them. But entertainment's really become a big thing. Yeah. Of course, food, because there's so many delicious things around that you gotta go through and try all the fun foods and whatever. So yeah, so I'm just curious.
What I usually end up doing, and Kevin and I do the same thing, is we usually go fairly hard on the first day. And we're there because you get that energy and excitement of being in the park the first day, and then kind of back off a little bit on the subsequent days. But we've got 2 park days. Well, you've already, it'll be 3 park days for you,
Yep.
2 park days for me, plus 3 days at the expo. So we make sure we don't burn ourselves out, so that we don't get to the end of the expo feeling like we need to have a nap right in the middle of the expo floor or something.
I've already been trying to do that, and my poor mom and my aunt are naturally early risers, and my mom was up at 3:30 this morning. I also was up at 3:30 this morning, and then went, oh no, and just like made myself go back to sleep until 5:30, because 5:30 is 7:30 for
you,
my internal clock still being slightly on Central Time. So I'm like wondering how this is going to go, because like I said, they were up and ready to go. Both of them were up and ready to go when I got up at 5:30.
Yeah.
And I still had to like shower and get
ready for your day.
Breakfast doesn't open until 6:30. We rope dropped the breakfast area this morning. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. But I'm hoping that maybe that means I'm not going to have to be here till park close, because I'm trying to be very conscientious
make sure
about energy levels. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Even if it was just the park days, right? You got to think marathon, not sprint. Unless you're only here for 1 or 2 days, then yes, go hard all day. But I still always want to be here for rope drop, and then always manage to stay until almost park close. And I got to be better about that, especially during this trip with the expo at the end.
And it's hot, too.
And it is very hot. It's very warm.
Because I was also up. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
My alarm was set for 4. But then I have that thing where when you travel, and you're like, you have to get up.
Yes.
And I was like...
And you don't want to oversleep.
I'm terrified my alarm's not going to go off. So I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to sleep. No, I did not sleep. So I've been up since 3. So I'm glad that I don't have a park ticket today, because then I can go back to the hotel and kind of have a rest. But I think I do need to check out Smuggler's Run, because I haven't seen the Mandalorian update. And I'd also like to check out Soarin' Over America.
Yes.
Because that'll be new. But I think everything else, I'm kind of content to just...
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Space Mountain, actually, Kevin will be upset with me if I don't go on that at least a couple of times. That's up there too. But I'm like you, we're so lucky that we come as often as we do. It's not quite as pressing to try and cram everything in as we used to. I think we've got a couple of dining reservations as well.
We do, yep. I'm looking forward to, we have tomorrow evening, we have Lamplight late, so that we can hopefully watch World of Color from the Lamplight, whatever you want to call it.
The patio downstairs.
Patio area. That's a good way of explaining it. So I'm looking forward to that. And then on D23 day, we have reservations at Cafe Orleans, which I haven't eaten at Cafe Orleans for a while. So I'm excited to re-experience that.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. We were there in March, but I always go back there because I love it there.
It's a good ambiance with the outside seating. I've done the inside seating, and it's fine. I like the outside. Just, sit there, enjoy your food, all the people watching, plus just the ambiance of the beautiful New Orleans area.
Yeah, it's great for people watching because it's such a high traffic.
I think
area.
Overall, though, I think we're going to have a more relaxing trip, because I think you and I are both just hyper-focused on don't wear ourselves out so that we're miserable walking around the convention center and trying to stay awake at the Honda Center, which... That's impossible to not off at the Honda Center. But you know what I mean. Like, feeling good and try and feel as refreshed as we can, so we can really attack each of the days.
Yeah. I think that's we're talking about going for a meal on D23 day. Right before we do that, though, we have our meetup. So if you are in the parks on D23 day on Thursday, we're going to be meeting between 2:30 and 4 at the Petrified Tree right by the Rivers of America there. So if you are listening to this on Wednesday or Thursday morning and you want to come and chat with us and hang out for a little bit, that would be great to see a lot of people there. I'm looking forward to that. This is always such a fun time because there's so many people in town because of the D23 Expo, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of folks that
will be in the park during D23 day. We'll see if that was a good time. We try to go right after the Legends Cavalcade. So we're looking forward to seeing as many of you as we can.
Yeah, and it's actually my first meetup
That's true.
with everybody in general. Cause we did have a meetup with Terry's tribe at the last one. So I was there for that, but I have not been to a DLWeekly meetup before. So I get to experience it as one of the hosts now, which is pretty exciting.
Which, speaking of meetups, Terry is also having a meetup on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. at the picnic area outside of the Disneyland entrance. So if you're going to be in the area and would like to meet Terry Hardin and the rest of the wonderful tribe, they said all are welcome. I got a message from Stephanie and said, make sure to let the Weekly Tears know. Because there's a lot of overlap in the group, and they're a really fun, really great group as well. So even if you're not officially part of the tribe yet, you are welcome to go join and meet up with them. Again, 7 p.m. on Sunday at the picnic area outside.
Right by the entrance?
Right by the entrance, so you don't even need a park ticket.
And they said grab some food from downtown Disney as takeaway and hang out together out there.
And we're hoping to make it over, Ryan and I, but we don't know what's happening at the convention center that evening and what our timeline's going to be, because we're hoping to make it to the Alan Menken concert.
That's my big thing. That was my disappointment in our reservation that neither of us got the Alan Menken concert, and that's a big one for me.
That is a big one. And it's Sunday, afternoon, evening, so we're not quite sure if the timelines will line up well for us to be able to do both. We're hoping to be able to do both, so fingers crossed. But I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I am too.
And this week, I guess it's only Tuesday.
We've got 5 more days of stuff to do.
We've only just begun. Well, if you guys are interested in what we're going to be up to this weekend, be sure to follow us on Instagram. I will try to be doing as much posting as I can remember to do, because I do get distracted. Maybe, or I'm sure Ryan will try and help me remember. But this is new for him too, because this is his first podcast trip, so he's not used to we should do this. So he's also learning, and I'm distracted. It's a wonderful pairing we've got going on. So follow along on Instagram to kind of check in and see what we're doing. But then also next week's show will be everything and anything D23 that we've done. It might even end up being 2 shows, depending on how much we've got. Yeah, exactly. So until then, we're going to go out and enjoy the parks.
Have a fantastic time.
Please remain seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop and the doors have opened. Then collect your belongings, watch your head, and step carefully from the episode. On behalf of all of our crew, thanks for traveling with us, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit here at DL Weekly.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.